quiet week here, quite frankly. A little trip up to Giant Stadium. We have some seats left on our bus for Sunday up to the Meadowlands to see the 3-2 Baltimore Ravens. But lo and behold, on Monday, changes were made very early in the morning. If you're on our WNST tech service, you know it is sponsored by Coons Ford at Security Boulevard. And this guy here does some radio on Thursday from 3 until 5, driving you home on the SSV on WNST. We welcome Dennis Colossus back onto the program. Dennis, at 9:33 on Monday, my wife comes up running to me and saying, "Hey, I just got the WNST text. They fired Mark Trestman." I'm like, "Oh, look at that, won't you?" I can't say that I'm completely shocked, but I am a little shocked.
Well, I think Mark got a free pass last season, Nestor, because of all the injuries, and this year he lived up to his reputation. Reputation was that he was a pass-happy, pass-first offensive coordinator, and with the way that the game was going this particular Sunday with the Skins, for him not to run the ball in the second half, for him to get away from the run when he absolutely didn't have to, he had no reason to get away. I don't care if they were stacking the box; they weren't stopping Terrence West and company, and to go through the air time and time again, 50-plus times from Joe Flacco was ridiculous.
Well, and I think there's a point where Flacco wants to throw the ball, but also understands where his protections are, where that offensive line is at this point. It's still, you'd like to say the offensive line's coming together in Week 5. They're just trying to get on the field. I mean, there's been no continuity at all, and the running game was working. So, I would think, and Harbaugh addressed it in the press conference. You can go hear it out in the audio vault as well. This is a tough decision. This is the end of the rope is where you are in Week 5, and obviously they believe they couldn't win with him anymore.
Yeah, absolutely. They got the running game going in the second half against the Raiders, first half against the Redskins, and again, to get away from it is just unconscionable, Nestor. Had no reason to get away. I don't care about the offensive line. They were making holes for Terrence West. He was making holes for himself. They were gapping the Skins. Skins, 29th rated defense in the NFL. Another force deep run defense, just like the Raiders the week before. Poor game plan, poor scheme, didn't adjust, and the adjustments they made for the second half were absolutely horrible. I think it was a decision he had to make. He made it quickly in the morning. He didn't hesitate. So I give him some credit for him to salvage the season, making the change. And now we have Marty Ball, and I studied up on Marty Ball, and I'm very excited about having Marty Mornhinweg as the offensive coordinator.
Well, he's probably the more accomplished guy, of the two when you consider success in this league and where they've worked. And I know, Trestman falls back on Steve Young and Brett Favre, but Marty Mornhinweg's been doing this at this level on the offensive side for a long time. And more than that, and look, man, you hire and fire people. I've hired and fired people. You like to be surrounded by people you know, and you know where they're going to go and what they're going to do. That's part of the whole Philadelphia connection here.
No question about it. What I like about the guy is his MO is that he simplifies the offense. That's something that Gary Kubiak did. It wasn't too complex. He was able to get in place fast, and I think that's what Marty does. I think he'll settle down Flacco. He'll give him a 3, 5, 7-step drop. He likes running the ball. He likes throwing the ball deep 6, 7, 8, 9 times a game in situational football. So I'm very excited about the change. I think they have enough stuff with Ken Dixon coming back. Hopefully Ronnie Stanley gets the offensive line going, but based on the way the defense has been playing, I think this team has a real shot still. Now, the special teams continues to be an enigma. They've let up some big plays so far this year, something they have to clean up. But all is not lost. The big game this week coming up against the Giants, pivotal game, another pivotal game, and a series of pivotal games for the Ravens.
What do you like about the team right now, Dennis?
I like the defense a lot. I think the defense, if you take away the return, the special teams, they're not giving up many points. They gave up 9 points, just 9 points against the Skins. I think the defensive line's playing okay. They're stopping the run. They've got to get some more pressure on the quarterback, obviously, but if you don't stop the run in this league, you're in trouble, so at least they can do that. I like what the running game presents. I like what the running game presents in the future. I think the receivers can get some plays downfield, but again, they need some structure, an identity, so to speak. Who are the Ravens? They can't be pass happy one game and run happy the next. So I look for them to get some structure under Mornhinweg. And one thing about the Harbaugh, I'm a big John Harbaugh fan, but to me, I don't know if he's a spectator sometimes because he gives his guys way too much rope. But at some point, you got to say, like in the second half, he could have saved Trestman for himself. He could have said, "Mark, look, what are you doing? Let's run the ball some." I mean, he is the head coach. He can impose his will on his coordinators, I would think.
Well, then you have to have the effectiveness of it, right? And you have to have the buy-in from the team. And the one thing that I noticed being in the locker room immediately after the game was it's like a bomb went off in there. I mean,
Yep.
no one had much to say. And, it's funny. I stood in the middle of the Owings Mills locker room last week, and I said to Luke, it's a pretty good group of guys here. I like these guys. And, integrity guys, character, all those things you want to hear about a football team. And then after that loss, guys like Steve Smith and Marshall Yonda, who are usually, at least available even when they're not in a good mood to say something. Guys didn't want to say anything after the game on Sunday. So I would say that there was some consternation there that I think those of us who spent time in that locker room sort of identified as being a little unique on Sunday.
Well, I also didn't like Coach calling out C.J. Mosley. Of course, he should have secured the ball. Obviously, he did. The kid was trying to make a play. Maybe the defense was pressing so hard because the offense couldn't move the ball. So maybe they were trying to score. So I don't fault.
When you go back to the old, remember the old Ed Reed days when he would intercept the ball. If he didn't get to the end zone, we weren't getting points.
Exactly. And the Eagles start lateraling. There was one play when Ray Lewis chased him down the field and tackled him before the Ed could lateral the ball. It was against the Colts. Funniest thing I've ever seen. But the point is, I think he was just pressing to try to make a play, get some points on the board because it was obvious that the offense was going to have a hard time scoring a touchdown on that windy Sunday.
He is Dennis Kalatzis from Coons Ford of Security Boulevard. They are the SSV on WNST. That's every Thursday from 3 until 5, also sponsoring our WNST tech service around here, which was Coons on the spot on Monday. I would say Johnny on the spot, but your name's not Johnny, Dennis.
But it was great. I got the same text, and I said, boy, I'm so glad I subscribed to the WNST tech service. I was the first guy at work, 160 people to get the text, and I got the word out quick.
Well, a lot of folks say, that they're on it, that they're happy they're on it. So we always tell people, you'll be happy you're on it once you're on it. Other thoughts about this and where the schedule is and losing to the Redskins. I like the Giants and the Jets as upcoming road games. If you're going to play road games, can't play Cleveland and Jacksonville every week, right? But these are winnable games. This is a time that they could right the ship going into the bye. But I know this much. Steelers look legitimate. New England looks legitimate. Denver looks legitimate. A lot of these teams, the same old's going on in the AFC. And Cincinnati looks like they've taken a step backwards.
Yeah, there's no question about it, Nestor. These are two very winnable games. But again, the Ravens have to win them. The Giants are coming apart at the seams. Todd Bowles said the Jets have to learn how to win again. I hope they'll learn how to win before the Ravens make the trip up there. But again, these last two games were also very winnable. We went from visions or dreams of being 5-0 before we headed up to the Meadowlands, and now we're staring down 3-2. There's a possibility we can come back 3-4 after this road trip. That would be a disaster. I don't see it happening. I'm hoping for a split one way or another, not a sweep. And I think at 4-3 with two upcoming home games, the team will still be in very good shape.
Remember when people were complaining about beating Jacksonville by not enough and beating Cleveland by not enough and that we fell behind? The wins and losses in this league, every week, it's difficult. And every week, there's some good team getting kicked in the teeth, right? That happens to everyone. The Minnesota Vikings are the exception at this point.
Yeah, Minnesota Vikings have one heck of a defense going for them. But I would agree with you. The sad thing for the Ravens is, with two road victories, it was just very difficult to see them lose two home games and give up that serve, so to speak. They had it going on, and you would think that with their defense, they would be able to hold serve at home. And they made some very bad decisions. I think eschewing the field goal for that trick play that didn't work, taking the 3 points would have given the Ravens a 7-point lead. With the defense, with the swirling wind, with the crowd on their side, it would have been very difficult for the Redskins to have come back on them.
To watch the Red Sox roll over, the Rangers roll over, the Cubs are now in a fist fight. To see what happened to the Orioles last week, you and I did not talk last Tuesday or Thursday. We haven't talked since the game. It's our first conversation. Anything you want to say about the Orioles all season? I know deep down in there's a fan there underneath all of that of the Orioles, but that's the hardest way to lose, when your manager makes a decision that will be in dispute for 6 months.
Yeah, it was that one was hard to swallow, Nestor. Again, situational baseball. You got arguably a Cy Young Award winner fresh in the bullpen, and you bring in Ubaldo, and of course he throws up some softballs, some lollipops there for them to hit all over the place. And I said, wait for 4 pitches, and there goes the season. But look, playoffs. We got a playoff game. I thought the season overall was a success. It could have been more, should have been more, but it wasn't. And real interested to see what they'll do this offseason, just like do every offseason. They're always, who knows what they're thinking. You probably have a better grasp of what they're thinking than I do.
Oh, no. I never know what that. No. You got the wrong guy, Dennis. People ask me, tell me what the Orioles are thinking. I'm like, have you been paying attention lately? I mean, I would not want to bet American money on that. Dennis Kalatsas is out at Coons Florida Security Boulevard. Tell me what you're doing out there. I mean, this change of weather has forced me to go to 2 shirts now. I got the long underwear out. I got the ski hats out. I saw the pink ski hats were sold out at the Ravens game on Sunday. What's happening over at your dealership?
Oh, man, we're going bonkers. Nestor, I'm kind of spoiled because I jumped into my brand new Ford Edge this morning. I've got a heated steering wheel.
Seat. I know, heated everything. I know.
And a heated steering wheel, not just a heated seat. So it was nice and toasty with 39
Hey, I have
degrees.
heated seats now, thanks to you.
Yes, you do. Keeps the tush warm. You know, the buttocks, the glutes.
I thank my wife every time she took that out to you and got it fixed. I really do.
It's real nice. The heated seats. We have all the creature comforts in almost every vehicle. 4 motor companies supporting us. The 0% for 72 months of most models. I've got about 800 brand new vehicles in stock, 300 used vehicles, and about another 1,000 vehicles out there for service, body shop, etc. We're going bonkers. The deals have never been better, and I encourage anyone in the market, give me a call, 410-218-0337. Save you a ton of money and feature right after the fact.
All right, Dennis, it's my birthday on Friday. Make sure you bring some cake, okay?
You got it, man. We'll have cake. We'll celebrate your 29 again.
Somebody asked me that the other day. I saw a guy at Buffalo Wild Wings Monday night. We were there doing our best seat in our wing eating competition, and he wrote his name down, and he said, hey, my birthday's this week. I'm like, hey, my birthday's this week. He said, when's yours? I said, Friday. He said, my birthday's Friday. He said, I'm 28. He said to me,
there you go.
He said, you're like my age, right? And I'm like,
right.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
But at 20, right, exactly.
How did you know, right?
Well, it's when I shave, I look a little, I have the baby face going on. When I let the whiskers come out, they see all that wisdom growing in on my chin, Den.
That's right. Well, I want to wish you a very happy birthday in advance, Nestor, many, many more.
It's good seeing you, man. We'll see you on Thursday.
Thanks a lot. Take care.
SSV on WNST, heard here every Thursday. Dennis Kalatsas sponsors us from Coons Florida Security Boulevard, but most importantly sponsors that WNST text service that you need to get on. So get on out onto WNST.net. You can sign up. You can text 68255. But once you're on, you'll know you're on because you'll get the breaking news first, and you'll be the smartest sports fan in your community. Nasty at WNST.net reaches me. Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, Snapchat, Instagram, and streaming live on Facebook Live, as well as our YouTube, WNSTV channel. We are WNST.net, AM 1570, and WNST Taos in Baltimore, and we never stop talking Baltimore sports.